Today, as you can see, we're united in restoring trust in government. We're here not as partisans, we're here as patriots. We begin the work of bringing this country together, progressives, independents, moderates, and yes, MAGA supporters, to demand truth and justice. A nation that allows rich and powerful men to traffic and abuse young girls without consequence is a nation that has lost its moral and spiritual core. Americans are asking a very simple question. How is it possible that in the richest, most powerful country in the world, there are corrupt special interest forces, both foreign or domestic, that are preventing the release, that have a stranglehold on our government and are preventing the release of the full Epstein files? There is something that is rotten in Washington. Less than 1% of these files have been released. We are demanding today on the discharge petition that all of the files be released. We know we have 212 Democrats and we have 4 Republicans, courageous Republicans like Thomas Massie, Nancy Mace, who was so emotional yesterday after talking to the survivors, Congresswoman Boebert, and Congresswoman Marjorie Taylor Greene. We need just 2 more signatures to force the release. So we gather here on the steps of the Capitol to confront these corrupt forces. Today we stand with survivors. We stand against big money. We stand to protect America's children.
Ladies and gentlemen, when the powerful say there's nothing to see, that's the moment to look closer. How does it feel to have MAGA supporters like Republican House Representative Thomas Massie stand with Democrats for the release of Epstein files? Take a further listen.
First thing that I'll let them, they're much more important than me, but I don't understand why it's a hostile act. I can tell you that I talked to President Trump back in 2009, and several times after that, he didn't think that it was a hoax then. In fact, he helped me. He got on the phone. He told me things that were helping our investigation. Now, our investigation wasn't looking into him, but he was helping us then. He didn't treat this as a hoax. So at this point in time, I would hope that he would revert back to what he was saying to get elected, which is, I want transparency. This about-face that occurred, none of us understand it. In fact, I don't understand how this is an issue that's even up for debate. How do you not stand behind these women after you've heard their stories and know that hundreds of them were abused, and it was only because files are being kept in secrecy? The world should know who he is, who protected him, and the other people that are out there to be investigated need to be investigated.
This week, Congress released over 33,000 pages tied to Jeffrey Epstein. Headlines erupted. But beneath the noise, one question remains: what actually changed, and who benefits from the illusion of disclosure? According to the Washington Post, Sept. 2-3, 2025, the House Oversight Committee posted 33,295 pages. But 97% of those documents were already public. The few new items: Customs and Border Protection flight logs from 2000 to 2014, and scattered media files. The Post called it a data dump with limited novelty. Reuters confirmed that the batch included video of victim interviews and audio from the Florida investigation, but emphasized that most of the content had been previously released. ABC News reported that survivors appeared at the Capitol alongside lawmakers, calling for full disclosure, but with protections for victim privacy. CBS News added that the files included court documents, flight records, and jail area video from the night of Epstein's death. They also noted that House leaders issued fresh subpoenas to Epstein's estate, seeking videos, address book listings, and materials referencing presidents and vice presidents from 1990 to 2019. How did Democrats react? The Post reported that Democrats criticized the release as mostly recycled. On their side, Republicans are split, some backing leadership's slow drip, others joining a bipartisan push for broader transparency. Consequently, Republican Representative Thomas Massie and Democrat Representative Ro Khanna filed a discharge petition to force a floor vote. And in a tweet on X, Representative Thomas Massie says the following: White House says helping me secure a vote to release all the Epstein files is a hostile act. They're threatening anyone who helps bring true transparency and justice for the survivors. This is a tacit admission the Oversight Committee data release is woefully incomplete. Listen to what President Trump then says about him.
So we have a thing that's happening, and I do bring a unity to the Republican Party. Do you know, almost every single person I've endorsed has won.
Yeah.
I can't think of anyone who hasn't. If I endorse a person, they win. And I do well in the elections, too. I don't want to put that down, because with the Republican Party, it's like 399-0. Think of that. And many of those are insurgents, people that I like better. You know, I didn't like a certain Republican, and you know, we like this guy Massey. He's going to be taken out. He's no good. He never votes. He never votes for anything. You know, it's like he's from Kentucky. He's always a no vote. It's like automatic. If it's good or bad, he thinks he gets publicity by voting now. We call him Rand Paul Jr. But it's terrible, some of these guys. So sometimes you have to take them out, and I do, and I win. You know, it's...
On its part, Reuters affirmed that survivors and their allies introduced a bill to mandate comprehensive release of all unclassified federal records. They argued that piecemeal dumps without indexing obscure truth more than they reveal. Not surprisingly, House leadership opposed the measure, citing privacy concerns. CBS confirmed that rank-and-file members were prepared to bypass leadership if necessary. However, grand jury secrecy remains a barrier. Reuters reported that a federal judge pointed to the executive branch, not the courts, as the actor best positioned to authorize broader releases of non-grand jury materials. That places responsibility squarely on the administration. In a briefing cited by the Wall Street Journal and summarized by Reuters, Attorney General Pam Bondi reportedly told President Trump that his name appears in investigative files. Reuters stressed that this does not imply wrongdoing, but it adds political heat to any decision on transparency. Across the week, ABC News reported that survivors pleaded for responsible disclosure, saying, "This is not a hoax." They urged the president to use his influence for full, safe transparency. But the Washington Post warned, what's still missing matters more than what was posted. There is no comprehensive indexing, no cross-reference logs, no clear provenance for each file. Reuters reported that public trust remains low, with majorities believing the government is still hiding key details. Here is the standard the public deserves: comprehensive indexing, so the record is navigable, searchable, and testable. Independent review, by archivists without political stake, to verify authenticity and identify gaps. Survivor First Protocol, advance notice for those named, funded support services, and rapid privacy remediation. Plain language scope note, so the public knows what exists, what doesn't, why it doesn't, and what law governs each withholding. For these reasons, ABC News and CBS reported that leaders promise redactions to protect victims. But the question remains: will those protections scale with genuine transparency, or replace it? The Washington Post reported that most of what we saw this week was already public. Reuters confirmed that the new fragments won't answer the public's core questions. That's the point. A mass of files without structure outsources the hardest work to survivors, reporters, and citizens with limited resources. That is not transparency. It is abdication. Files without accountability are just paper. Believe survivors. Demand responsible transparency. If truth is the goal, build the record so truth can be found. This is Liberation Lens, Perspective Matters.